Keeping up with our motto that learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure, here we are with the remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning, students! Today we are going to start with Class 8 Science, Chapter number 13, Chemical Change and Chemical Bond. Student, we see many different type of changes surrounding us, like melting of ice, rusting of iron nail, then spoiling of food like milk and other food products, boiling of water, ripening and then over ripening of fruits like banana, then injecting chemicals for the fast ripening of fruits and vegetables, preparing food, decomposition of leaves, as well as bursting of firecrackers. So all these changes can be categorized into two different categories, that is physical change and chemical change. You have already learned in your previous class about physical as well as the chemical changes. Let us quickly review it. Physical change. Physical change, it might be caused because of the grinding, cutting, crushing, bending, breaking, heating or cooling, and squishing. In a physical change, matter changes form but not chemical identity. Examples of physical change are melting ice, shredding paper, chopping wood, mixing grey and green marbles. So over here you can see only the physical changes there. The things are not chemically changing. Whereas in chemical change, a chemical reaction occurs and the new products are formed. A chemical change happens when one chemical substance is transformed into one or more different substances, such as when iron is getting rusted, right? Burning of wood is another example, rotting of banana, then bursting of firecrackers, as well as mixing vinegar and baking soda. So, chemical changes occur through the process of chemical reactions. Resulting substances, they have different properties because their atoms and molecules are arranged differently. Physical changes are always reversible changes. For example, water on freezing turns into ice, and ice again on heating turns into water. So it is a reversible change. Similarly, ice cream on heating, it will turn into liquid, whereas again on cooling it will turn into ice cream. Butter at room temperature, if kept inside a fridge, then it will become hard. And when this butter is taken out of the fridge and kept again at the room temperature, it will become soft. Chocolate on melting. Here you can see the chocolate cube is there. So on heating, it starts melting and turns into liquid. Whereas if this liquid chocolate is cooled down, then again it can take the form of this chocolate bar. Chemical changes are irreversible changes. For example, when you are cutting the logs of wood and burning it, then it turns into ashes. This ashes cannot turn back into wood. So this is a chemical change and it is irreversible. Similarly, sand is used for preparation of glass. But again, we cannot convert glass into sand. Then different types of flours are used to make a dough, and after baking them, it turns into bread. But from bread, again, we cannot get the dough back. And finally, cake is prepared with the help of different ingredients like flour, milk, sugar, etc. But it is not possible to get these ingredients back from the cake. Let us learn chemical changes in detail. During a chemical change, the chemical composition of the original matter changes and a new substances having different properties and different chemical composition are formed. We have seen many examples. A chemical equation can be written for a chemical change if the exact change in the chemical composition is known. So let us understand how to write a chemical equation. Names and chemical formula of the original substance and newly formed substance are used while writing a chemical equation. For example, when baking soda is added to lemon juice, a chemical change takes place in the citric acid that is present in the lemon juice. So baking soda is nothing but the sodium carbonate. When it is added to the lemon juice, which contains citric acid. So citric acid plus sodium bicarbonate. There is a reaction and we can see the result is forming of carbon dioxide gas as well as sodium citrate, that is a salt. So this is the chemical equation. On the left side of the equation, on the left side of this arrow, you can see the reactants are there. That is citric acid on reacting with sodium bicarbonate forms the product. So on the right hand side of this arrow, we have the products. That is carbon dioxide as well as sodium citrate is formed. So this is how we write a chemical equation. On the left side we have reactants and on the right side of the arrow we have products. Let us see few natural chemical changes. Respiration. In this process we inhale air and exhale carbon dioxide and water vapor. Inside our body, glucose in the cells reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water. So we can write the equation as glucose plus oxygen. They are reacting and it gives out carbon dioxide plus water. Second example is photosynthesis. Green plants, they perform photosynthesis in sunlight, the process by which plant produces food with the help of water, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and sunlight. So we can write the equation as carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. They are reacting and we get glucose and oxygen. So these two examples of natural chemical change can be represented with the help of this diagram. You can see over here, this is the photosynthesis and here respiration is there. So photosynthesis uses carbon dioxide and water as the reactant and in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll which is already there in the plants, it prepares food which is in the form of glucose. And it releases oxygen. So oxygen and glucose are the products. These products are the reactants in the case of respiration. And the products of respiration are carbon dioxide and water. So photosynthesis and respiration are exactly the opposite process, we can say. Let us see a few examples of man-made chemical changes. Combustion of fuels. Wood, coal, petrol or cooking gas are burnt for getting energy. The common substance that burns in all these fuels is carbon. During the combustion process, carbon combines with oxygen and the product carbon dioxide is formed. So we can write the chemical equation as carbon plus oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide. During the combustion of fuels like oil, gasoline, wood, coal, natural gas, etc., when it is combining with oxygen, it is resulting into carbon dioxide as well as it can turn into carbon monoxide also. And several different types of gases are also formed during such type of fuel combustion like nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, etc. Plus a lot of energy is also released. Cleaning Shahabad tile with dilute hydrochloric acid. The chemical composition of Shahabad tile is calcium carbonate. During its cleaning with hydrochloric acid, the upper layer of the tile reacts with hydrochloric acid and three products are formed. So the chemical equation can be written as calcium carbonate plus hydrochloric acid. It gives three products: calcium chloride plus carbon dioxide plus water. Softening of hard water. Some wells or tube wells have hard water. It is brackish to taste and does not form lather with soap. This is because hard water contains chloride and sulfate salts of calcium and magnesium in dissolved state. To soften the hard water, a solution of washing soda is added to it. And this results in a chemical reaction to form precipitate of insoluble carbonate salts. As the dissolved salt of calcium and magnesium go out in the form of precipitate of carbonate salts, the water is softened. Let us see the chemical reaction for the same. Calcium chloride plus sodium carbonate, that is washing soda, that is added to it. So we get calcium carbonate, which are the insoluble salts, plus sodium chloride. So students, today we have learned about chemical changes and the chemical equation of different type of chemical changes. In the next session, we will learn about the chemical bond and two different types of chemical bond, that is ionic bond and the covalent bond. This is all for today's session. Thank you so much.